Good morning, everybody. I hope you can hear me. Um, my name is Olivia Wami, and I'll be taking us on a live discussion today. The workshop we're going to be looking at is ITIL, a guide to the IT infrastructure library. So if you can hear me, please confirm because it's going to be interesting, and you need to be on your best behavior to really get what I'm trying to say. So without much, what is ITIL? First of all, I know that most of us haven't actually heard about ITIL, but ITIL simply is Information Technology Infrastructure Library. That's just what ITIL is. But ITIL is actually a set of procedure, it's a tax, processes, checklist that isn't really specified to an organization or technology, but it's still useful to delivering value and maintaining competency in an organization. What am I trying to say? ITIL is just a methodological is an approach to information technology service management, which is what I'm actually trying to talk about today. So ITIL, just like Agile, is flexible enough to allow organizations that offer IT services to adopt, implement, and just give the best to their customers. So we know that yes, it actually helps ITSM, and it also help business manage risk. It help business develop customer relationship, and also create an IT infrastructure that I can expand, change, and grow, which is what every business needs. They need a way to expand, they need a way to grow, they need a way to change at any point in time. So the goal of ITIL today is to improve efficiency while also ensuring consistent service delivery. I know that some of us are actually handling services that we do not even have an idea that it is a service. Don't worry, by the middle of this topic today, I'm going to tell you one of the service you're offering and why you need to implement the ITIL process to make sure that you are delivering the best out of the best. So why is ITIL really important? Well, ITIL is important because while it is not an industry standard, it is actually widely adopted by thousands of organizations that are reaping the benefits of a standardized approach. Let me repeat that so you can actually just get what I'm trying to say. Now, it provides recommendation and a framework, yes, but it is not an industry standard. But why it is not an industry standard, a lot of organizations are actually benefiting from the fact that it helps with standardized approach. Now, if an organization chooses to commit to the ITIL framework, this is what you're getting out of it. It's going to increase the quality of your service management. It's going to increase the quality of outcome and operations. Yes, it's going to help you do all of those. So because of its consistent system monitoring and regular strategic reviews, ITIL ensures that organizations are always up to date. I'm going to just in a minute, I'm going to tell you how ITIL has actually made sure that every organization that chooses to implement it is going to benefit in the long run. So one of the key things you need to take away from the importance of ITIL is, along with its flexibility and commitment to staying agile, ITIL best practices will keep your business on top of the industry. It's going to help you achieve that without so much as a stress while you're actually working on doing that. So now, the ITIL framework. You know that every good thing that we have come across is in project management, product management. There is actually a framework, like a process framework that helps you understand what you need to do, how you need to just put everything in place to make sure you're getting the best out of the best, which is what we're trying as much as possible for every one of us on this call to get today. How can I get the best out of the best? How can I give the best service delivery out there? Now, IT gives updated documentation and certifications with each iteration. How does it actually do that? With ITIL, ITIL has actually made sure that businesses are getting like every single thing they need to do, they need to know as technology improves. Now, because of that, we have four versions of ITIL. We have the ITIL 1, which was created in 1989. We have the ITIL version 2, ITIL version 3, and the current one, ITIL version 4. The most interesting one is the ITIL version 4, and how the ITIL version 4 has been able to cover all of the revolutionary areas which you may not have even come across, or you may have come across it, but you don't even know that yes, people are taking note of it. Now, the first version, which was created in 1989 with the purpose of standardizing IT service management, this first edition provided an overview of ways to streamline services and assisted administrators in thinking about best practices. Now, the ITIS framework is not a rigid checklist to implement best practices. No, organizations evaluate and implement the aspects that are most important for their needs. So it's not forcing you to actually take one approach, but it is flexible enough for you to choose anywhere you want to go, anything you want to implement, and it's going to work for you. The version 2 provided administrators with a more appropriate and uniform structure for service, support, and delivery, as well as practical processes to follow. Now, if you think that is not interesting enough, just look at how the ITIL versions grew. The version 3 added standards on service strategy, on design, transition, and operation. It also suggested techniques for firms to improve their services on a continuous basis. So if you're offering a service, why don't you just adopt the ITU approach and just give your customers what they really deserve? Now, the version 4, which is the most interesting and the one that really blew my mind when I come across it, was that it was designed to help IT admins navigate the ins and outs of the fourth industry revolution. Now, what is the fourth industry revolution? Yes, now this is where it comes really interesting. ITIL version 4 accommodates newer approach such as DevOps, which is, yeah, it's new right now. It accommodates automation, containers, microservices, and the cloud. So why do you think it is not for you? Like, why? Because IT considers what organizations and businesses needs, comes together to putting up a version that is going to help put everything in place. It also emphasizes the integration of ITSM, which is IT system, IT service management, with other areas of a business. So while you're integrating ITIL, yeah, you know that yes, you're also integrating the ITSM with any area of your business. This is no joke. Now, ITIL has been used since 1989. It has been developed and reformed to fit what businesses need. It is not being reformed because the previous versions were bad. No, it was because business needs and business code changed. And the same way ITIL changed to accommodate all of those business needs. Now, this is a table of the IT evolution. This is how IT grew. You can see from 1989 to 2001, where the version 2 was released, 2007, where the version 3 was released, and we actually had like two versions of version 3. Like there was like the first one, which came up in 2007, and a more updated one in 2011. Why? Because of the increase in demand of business goals, customer requirements, the need for customer satisfaction to be at the top of the top. Now, we now had the IT version 4, which adds practical guidance in 2019 and 2020. So while you don't actually feel like you're offering a service, we're getting down to the point where I'll tell you the service you're actually offering, and I'm going to ask you why you haven't implemented ITIL. If you haven't come across ITIL before today, I hope with this breakdown, you'll be able to decide on going forward to choosing ITIL for your service delivery. Now, the life cycle. Yes, every single, awesome framework has like a life cycle that just helps you navigate through all of your services. We have 5 life cycle of ITIL, and the first one is the service strategy. This just describes business goals and customers' requirements and how to align objectives of both entities. Yes, it actually helps you align business goals and your customer requirements. So if just as the name sounds, strategy, so it just helps you, strategize better to make sure that yes, you're putting together your business goal and then your customer requirements. So we have the service design that just outlines practices for the production of IT policies, architecture, and documentation. And we have the service transition. So after you have strategized, you have designed, and you have what you need to move forward, the only thing you need to do is just transition. It advises on change management and release practices, and also guides admins through environmental interruption and changes. So if there's any change, IT service transition actually helps you with this. Now, let me give you an example of a service that is currently being run in the organization that one of us do not know about. Now, do you know that the Bincom Dev Center Academy is actually a service? But this is the question I'm putting forward to the organizers. Do you use ITIL when you are actually putting up your daily or your monthly cycle in place? This is what I need you to just take in mind. Just think about it. Do you put up a strategy? Do you put up a design? Do you transition the way it needs to transition? Are your operations effective? Now, the service operation offers ways to manage IT service on a daily basis, monthly basis, yearly basis. Now, no matter when you're trying to offer your service, the service operation covers it. ITIL covers it. So do you use the ITIL framework while you're putting in place your next cycle? If you haven't, please try it. It's going to work because I have been using it and I know for sure that it works. Now, the last service cycle is the continuous service improvement. This covers how to introduce improvements and policy updates within the ITIL process framework. Yes, you heard me right. Now, why you have like the life cycle that helps you with the strategy, design, transition, and operation. ITIL also helps you to continually improve on your service to make sure that you are introducing the best policy, updated policy. You're actually improving on your current service. So IT helps you to improve even if you feel like you cannot improve at that point. But because of its flexibility, you can actually improve your service at any point, if it's monthly, bi-monthly, if it's yearly, bi-yearly, what by annual, sorry, any way you want it. ITIL service life cycle helps you covers that. Now, how can ITIL help my business? Which is like a question that everybody would want to know. Yes, we've been hearing ITIL this, ITIL that, but really, how can it help your business? I'm going to tell you how ITIL is going to help your business today. Now, it's going to help you reduce your operation costs. It's going to help improve productivity and employee satisfaction. It's going to also help you establish cost-effective practice. It's going to help you build a stable environment that allows for growth, scale, and change. And it's going to help IT organizations become centered on addressing business issues rather than just IT issues. So you're not just sorting out IT issues, but you have to put in mind that those businesses that need your IT service have something in mind. So you have to be able to also address those business issues. Now, IT will also assist with managing risk, disruption, and failure. So if you are scared that you might come across risk, you might come across failure or disruption, IT actually helps you manage all of those. And the most important is it helps you strengthen customer relationships by delivering effective service that meets their business needs. Now, if you are offering a service and you feel like ITIL is not for you, just look at these benefits. These are all awesome benefits. And the most important is that your customer relationship is going to be strengthened. And you know what strengthened customer relationship means? It means that they'll be coming back for more of your service, whether you like it or not. But because they're getting what they really want, they're going to be coming back to get more of those goodies. Now, how to put ITIL into practice? Yes, there's no single approach to put ITIL in process, but there are actually best practices for you to adopt. Now, you need to understand why ITIL. Why do you need to put ITIL into place? And you also need to possess the knowledge to implement ITIL. Now, any ITIL initiative should begin with a careful consideration of driving factors. Business leaders, service leaders should have clear and substantial reasons for adopting ITIL and understand how ITIL should benefit their business. So you shouldn't just go along and say, yes, okay, fine, I'll choose ITIL today. No, you need to understand why you need to implement ITIL. Why are you adopting ITIL? What do you want to get out of adopting ITIL? So that is the one thing you need to put in place. That is the one thing you need to get cleared out before you go along saying that yes, you need to put ITIL into practice. Now, one of the key things I need you to take out of this today is before you implement ITIL as your organization, there are several questions you should answer, such as what problems your organization is trying to solve and what is your route to continuous service improvement. Let's use for example the Bincom Academy. Yes, it's run, you have like every month cycle, you have it running every month. There's like a monthly cycle. That's what I'm trying to say. Now, what problem are you trying to solve? Yes, that is the first thing you need to understand. What problem am I trying to solve with the PHP class? What problem am I trying to solve with the digital marketing class? What problem am I trying to solve with the product and service management class? Those are the things you need to put into perspective. And then how can you continually improve on those services you offer? If you get those questions correctly, trust me, you are already on your way to making sure that your customers are getting the best out of the best out there. Now you need to possess knowledge. IT implementation takes expertise. It does, but it isn't something you can learn from a manual. No, business leaders must depend on one or more people with solid IT certification and proven expertise to spearhead the initiative. So if it's your first time to wanting to implement ITIL, trust me, there are people in your organizations that are already into ITIL. They are already implementing the ITIL practice, and you can always meet them, ask them questions. How can I go about it? This is what I want to do. This is what I want to achieve. They're going to help you implement it. Now, this might require some new training or staffing change to onboard the knowledge needed to pursue IT compliance, but since there is an expert there to help you all the way, trust me, it is going to be easy as you move along. Now, start small and build out. Do not start by saying you want to implement all of the 34 IT practice as a proof of principle document project. No. Reevaluate the process post adoption and see how business performance is affected. Start small. That is what I'm trying to say. You need to start by implementing one or just a few of the IT practices. Now, as these small projects review business value and they can roll out across the business and more practices can be implemented as needed. So if you try small and what you're doing actually fails at that point, what does IT do? It helps you manage that failure. It helps you improve on it so that you can actually get the best of your business value. Your business value is going to be reviewed and you can roll your strategy across all of your services. Now focus on the outcome, which is the last thing you need to do. ITIL isn't just the goal. No, simply implementing ITIL buys the business nothing. But understand what you want ITIL compliance to achieve, such as greater customer satisfaction or lower service costs, and then measure those outcomes objectively using metrics. This is where I want to focus on. So just implementing ITU doesn't mean that yes, you have it all. No, you need to understand that you're trying to give your customers the best. You need to understand that you're trying to lower costs. You need to understand that you're also trying to make money out of using the ITU practice. Now, the ITIL implementation can be disruptive, so adoption is rarely approached as a singular all or nothing initiative, but rather as a set of steps or phases intended to explore, validate, and expand the framework adoption over time. So you need to start small. First of all, you need to understand what you're trying to do. You need to possess the knowledge of what you're trying to do. You need to start small and build out. You need to focus on the outcome. Do not lose sight of what you're trying to achieve by adopting the ITIL framework or the ITIL practice. Now, this is where I come to an end. The ITIL framework helps organization businesses to define its IT service. It aligns services with customers' needs and produce a clear model for ongoing success. ITIL is used to improve core IT service processes and is flexible to each organization's unique requirements. So if you're trying to implement ITIL for the first time, please note that it is flexible enough to accommodate what you need, how you need it, and how you need to implement it. This is where I think my time is up. But if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me right now. I am ready to take your question. Thank you so much for listening. My name is Olivia Wami once again, and do reach out to me if you feel like you need to implement this, but you do not have the expertise to implement it. Thank you.
Well done, Olivia. Nice presentation. Because of our time, we'll just listen to the next speaker. Then at the end of the whole section, we'll take